everyone, this is Sarah the Catholic Homemaker. Today I wanted to do another video on some classic children's books. These are directly from our local libraries and I just wanted to share them with you. A lot of them are from book lists that we have from my oldest curriculums. Some of them are from another book list that we have, and I just wanted to share some suggested titles from you guys if you're looking for children's titles to read. First of all, welcome to my channel, to everyone, and anyone that's new. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so that we can continue to grow this community. Also hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, and comment below, share this video. All these things help to get more people to my channel and to see my videos. Comment below on your favorite classic children's books that you read to your children, especially ones that I didn't mention in this video. First, we have the Little Bears series by Elsie, Holmlund, Minarek. This is the original Little Bear. It's a shorter story than some of the other ones. Little Bear and the Marco Polo. Little Bear's Friend. And then I have one other Little Bear book here. We own a couple copies of Little Bear, but these ones we don't own. Little Bear's Valentine. And this is also by the original author. I want to point something out, that sometimes you have to be careful that there are a continuation of things. Like I noticed with the Madeline series and the Bernstein Bear series, I really don't like the newer books with those that aren't written by the original authors. So just keep an eye to, like, whatever your preference is, of course, but I prefer the original styles of the original authors, and the same with Curious George. I really don't like the newer stories, and I don't really like the cartoon. I think sometimes it's a little campy, but I know it's for children. I think it's an appropriate cartoon for children to watch if you're looking for something to keep them busy and you're not able to do something like read to them or be active with them. And like I just use that as kind of an emergency type of situation. Like if my children if I can anticipate that they might be fighting and I need to make dinner really quickly. Now it doesn't happen every night, but that I try to actually choose other programs. That's my husband's preferred program for them, is Curious George, but there are definitely lots of other good programs as well for children. So the next one is Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters by John Steptoe, and it's a Caldecott Honor book as well. This is actually a really beautiful story, I think, so definitely recommend reading that one. Blueberries for Sal by Robert Mccloskey. This is also another classic one that's on a number of book lists for us. Little Red Riding Hood. Now this was adapted by Gennady Spirin, and there's just some really nice illustrations in here. So it's just a really nice version. Then there's Noah's Ark, illustrated by Peter Spire. And it's mostly just illustrations in here. And it's actually really cool. There's all kinds of animals and everything. It's very detailed. So really nice version. How to Make an Apple Pie and See the World by Marjorie Priceman. And it's kind of a cute little book. The Donkey's Dream by Barbara Helen Berger. Now this one, we have a number of books on our book list that go along with the same theme, usually with the Nativity, the birth of Jesus. So this one is also connected to that. The Empty Pot by Demi. This one's also a really beautiful story because of the message behind it. I highly recommend reading it to your kids. Circus Caps for Sale. It's a companion to the original Caps for Sale by Esfir Slobodkina. So we have the original Caps for Sale, but there's a couple of companion books for this one. We've actually never read this one before. We've read one of the other extra books with this one. Are You My Mother is also a classic. We actually own this book, but we don't own the one that has like the full version in both English and Spanish. We have a board book in Spanish, but it's an abridged version. So I wanted to get them the full version when I saw it at the library to read all the Spanish. This one's fully in Spanish, La Araña Muy Ocupada by Carle. And that's just like the very busy spider. But the language is simple enough. If you know some Spanish, it should probably be pretty easy for you to translate, especially based on the pictures. There's A Time of Wonder by Robert Mccloskey. I would say pretty much all Robert Mccloskey's books are classic books. Well, probably all of them. Some of them are picture books, and there's a couple ones that are chapter books. So obviously, if you have younger children, stick to the picture book ones and then maybe expand to the chapter ones when they get older. Harry by the Sea by Jean Zion. Pictures by Margaret Boyd Graham. This is actually the only one that we don't own, as far as I know, in the Harry series. And everything in that series, it's a really good series. I especially like Harry and the Lady Next Door because I'm a singer, and the Lady Next Door is the singer, or you could even say that she's an opera singer, and she sings so high that Harry the dog just can't stand it. So it's just kind of humorous. The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. This is just a classic poem by Edward Lear, but these illustrations are by Jan Brett. And Jan Brett, she's also an author, but she has some really beautiful illustrations. So we actually own a copy of this, but we don't have the Jan Brett version, so I just wanted to see what the illustrations were like in this one. We haven't read this yet, but these are Chimney Corner Stories, Tales for Little Children, collected and retold by Virginia S. Hutchinson and illustrated by Lois Lentil. Now, Lois Lentil, actually, there are some other books on one of the lists. I think it's like Papa Small and Policeman Small. I don't know if there's some other ones, but I know those two are on one of the book lists we have. But just to let you know which stories are in here. Henny Penny, The Old Woman and Her Pig, The Pancake, The Three Bears, The Three Billy Goats Gruff, The Three Pigs, The Little Red Hen and the Grain of Wheat, The Cock, the Mouse, and the Little Red Hen, The Travels of a Fox, and Lazy Jack. Oh, there's a few more. Mr. and Mrs. Vinegar, The Elves and the Shoemaker, The Bremen Town Musicians, and Cinderella. Most of these I've heard of, but there are some that I have not heard of, like Mr. and Mrs. Vinegar, The Pancake, and there's a couple others. Let me know if you guys have heard of all these. Then there's St. Patrick and the Peddler by Margaret Hodges. So I thought this would be nice to get. This was on one of the book lists, but I thought St. Patrick's Day is coming up the month after this coming month. So pretty soon, like a month and a half. And then I've also been trying to get some St. Valentine's books to prepare for that, because usually if you don't get the holiday books ahead of time, you usually get them after the holiday. That was my experience with Advent and Christmas. I was on waiting lists and they were good books to read, but it would have been nice to read some of them in the actual season of Advent and Christmas. This is another Robert Mccloskey book, Lentil. The Biggest Bear, we just read this tonight, by Lind Ward, and that was a nice story. Chidi Only Likes Blue, an African Book of Colors by, I really hope I don't butcher this name, Ifeoma Onyefulu. One Morning in Maine by Robert Mccloskey. This one's a longer one, same with A Time of Wonder. The Complete Book of Flower Fairies by Cicely Mary Barker. This one's a pretty big book, and I will say it's hard for my oldest to kind of listen to. It's kind of funny, my youngest actually has more interest than my oldest, and maybe it's because of the fairies in there, just the pictures, but it kind of, these are just all poems really, and it teaches your kid about poetry, obviously. It's good to read poetry to them, but then to see the illustrations, and it teaches them about the flowers and everything. It's divided into maybe like 6 different sections, because it goes through flower fairies of the spring, summer, autumn, winter, of the garden, of the trees, of the wayside, and then a flower fairy alphabet. And they're all around like 18 to 20 pages, so we've only gotten through the flower fairies of the spring. What's Cooking Jamella? There's like a whole series with this, and the Jamella series is on the recommended reading list as well. Stone Soup. Now we have actually 3 different versions of this that we own, but we do not own this one in particular by Marcia Brown. And this one in particular, I think this is the one that I actually grew up with that my mom would read to us. But this is the specific one by Marcia Brown that is recommended on the reading list. And then the last 2 are more Jamella books. This is Where's Jamella? And then A Song for Jamella. Now, it's my understanding that the Jamella ones are from, at least there's some South African words in there, but it's from the language, which I think is pronounced Xhosa. And then there's one of the books that we read tonight had a Xhosa word in it and Afrikaans, and I think one other language from South Africa in there. I've jumped ahead to the kindergarten reading list for my daughter, but we've like pretty much done the preschool list, and we own a number of them, but I'm also trying to refer back to the preschool lists and visit them from time to time. But I think that she was just ready for the higher level or just more of those picture books. It's really nice to read a variety of books to them. One of the reading lists for kindergarten, it has books from around the world. So the Jamella books are from South Africa, and then there's some other African books in there. That's all from the Modern Moblies list for kindergarten. And then there's books from Europe, there's books from Asia, South America. That might be it as far as around the world books, at least in general. But it's just interesting to read such a wide variety of books, and I hope you have found this video to be helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I hope you have a wonderful week. May God bless you and your family.